afternoon and happy June. We are going to discuss wig options for June, how I'm wigging. And I have a question for you guys. For you bald women, or for women who wear wigs all the time, like as a rule. I wear wigs all the time as a rule. And I want to know if y'all have figured out how to wig happily yet. Wig happily. Y'all know what that means? Okay, so wigging happily means you found a comfortable price point and you're happy with your hair on most days. Have y'all figured that out yet? I'm still working at it. I've been bald now for, let's see, about 75 years. And I still haven't figured that out. I still haven't figured it out. I thought I figured it out. I thought that by buying a few human hair wigs, that I would have a good wig season this year. Every year I try something different. Last year was a little weird. Last year was a wild card because I was transitioning between what I was doing the prior year and trying to find some good human hair wigs, which I was able to find. And if you've watched my channel, then you've seen the good wigs that I've gotten. I was able to get them gently used, and I got them for a really good price. So in that sense, I have been wigging good. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say I've been having a terrible wig experience since the beginning of the year, but it hasn't been great because I don't think I like human hair wigs that much. I don't think I like them. I love how they look when they're fresh, freshly styled. And, that first 2 or 3 days after a wash, I love how they look. But then, I don't know, like at about day 4 or 5, they kind of turn on you. Or is that just my experience? I don't know. And I don't know for sure how you guys are wigging because y'all never want to share. You never want to share your experience. And I so need to hear other people's experiences because it's kind of lonely here in the bald world. And that's why I come online and started this bald world community, is because it's kind of lonely. It's hard to find somebody to talk to or relate to. So I don't know how other people are wigging. And this is what I've noticed. I've noticed that people who buy human hair wigs, their hair looks really, really good for an event. You know what I mean? And then outside of the event, somehow they all seem to be wearing some sort of head tie, a hat, scarf. Is that where y'all are at? I don't know because I hate wearing anything extra on top of my head. I like to wear my wig and nothing else. In fact, the other day I tried to buy a new scarf. And I actually hated it. I hate the way it feels on my head with the wig because it somehow makes me feel like my wig is slipping off. I don't know. And then it's also extra tight, having, the elastic from the wig, then the cap, then the hair, then it's just so much. I don't like to wear anything extra on my head. And then I had that horrible experience at school that gave me PTSD when I was a child with that terrible teacher who basically embarrassed me, shamed me in front of the whole entire class because I wore a hat when you're not supposed to wear a hat in school, right? But anyway, if y'all want to hear that story, I'm glad to share. I'm just not going to get into it right now. But yeah, ever since then, like I have this thing about wearing hats. I always feel like, what if I have to take my hat off? Even though in reality, like in what situation am I going to have to take my hat off? But then that's a thing. That's a thing. I remember I went jet skiing with my daughter once, and we were on the jet ski. I wore a hat over a wig, and well, I lost the hat in the ocean, but the wig stayed on, thank God. I guess I just don't know how. I don't know. This brings me all back to the beginning of this video, which is I haven't been happy with my wig experience lately. Right now, I had to bust out my sewing kits, which, y'all, if you don't know how to sew and you're a wig girly, what are you doing? How are you managing? Are you okay? Because I find myself sewing so much as a wig girly. I'm always sewing. I just found another reason to sew. That's why I pulled it out today. One of the wigs I bought ripped. This seems to be a thing. Is that a thing y'all know about? I buy these high-end human hair wigs because, I like wearing blonde hair. So you kind of have to go high-end when you're wearing blonde hair because the budget brands don't really know how to bleach hair properly and they end up damaging it. So if you don't buy quality blonde hair, you're probably going to get hair that's going to look as stiff as straw, and you're just going to look like an upside down broomstick. You know what I mean? So I get these high quality pieces, and they're supposed to last forever. For the most part, they do, but they rip at seams. Fortunately, the rip is always at the seam. So they can be fixed as long as you know how to sew. But yeah, there you go. Nice little rip. So I have my needle and thread with me. I'm going to use some clear thread. I didn't show you guys this last time when my last wig ripped, my last human hair, high quality, $3,500 wig ripped. I didn't show you how I did this. I just told you about it. But I'll just show you the brand of thread that I used. Now, these items that you see me pulling out, they are so old. They're relics from the past. I told you I'm 100 years old, right? Been bald for 75 years. So yeah, this is some old stuff. I'm trying to find the thread. Where's my thread? Where's my thread? If I don't have my thread, I'm in trouble. But yeah, as I was saying, I bought the human hair wig, and after about day 3 or 4, I feel like it's time. Hey, Helene, thanks for joining. Hola, and I appreciate you in the comments. Keep chatting and bring some friends in, because we like the room to be nice and full, filled with women who want to talk about wigs and hair and stuff like that. Bald girl news, right? So thank you very much for being the first. I appreciate you. Yeah, I bought the wig. I wore it for 3 days. Did y'all see the video I made where I climbed a mountain? I climbed a mountain for the first time. It wasn't a huge mountain. I know it's not, so don't come for me and be like, that girl ain't no mountain. It was a mountain as far as I'm concerned. I can't tell you the depth of the mountain or the height. I can't tell you any of that. But I know it was a good walk. I did it in a dress and my slippers, literally. Check out that reel. I thought it was like an amazing experience. Nick Diesel says Baldilocks. Thank you, Nick Diesel. I think I like that. If you had told me that sooner, my name might be Baldilocks. I like that. Thank you. But yeah, I wore it, and my hair looked really nice for a few minutes. I don't know. And then up there in the mountains, I don't know, the bang on this wig just started getting so stiff. I don't know. But anyway, I found the thread. This is the thread that I used. And I'm showing you this thread because when you're buying thread, you could buy the wrong kind. I'm sure there's plenty right kinds of thread, but I've used wrong kinds before. And this is the kind I'm using now because I know for sure that this works really well for repairing a laced wig. So I'm going to sew this. And because it's lace and the fabric is quite fine, you see that? Look at the fabric. I'm also going to use a very thin needle, a very skinny one. You have to be careful because if you use a needle that's too broad or too thick, then you're going to poke a hole into the lace that's too large and it'll end up ripping it. So you don't want that to happen. You need the finest, skinniest needle that your eyes can see. And I'm going to find that. I'm not going to spend time really right now sewing it in front of you guys, I think, because I don't want to bore you, but at the same time, I do want to talk about my wig experience and how much money I've been spending and how much money I would like to how I would like to continue wigging. All right. So like I said, I haven't been enjoying my wig experience that much. This is the size of this one. This one might be too small. I like this one. This one looks like it might be too thick actually. So I might have to go with the skinny one. I'll go with this one. Very small. Hopefully I can see the eye of the needle. But yeah, what I don't like is that I feel like I have this desire to wash the wig all the time. And to be honest, I don't think I'm using the right product to wash these wigs. You know, everybody has a unique head of hair, right? So for every person, they're going to need different products. This is another thing I don't like about wigs. They need different products. Like the products my son uses in his hair, my daughter's not going to use the same product. And the same product that my niece uses in her hair, my daughter's not going to use the same product either. You know what I'm saying? Because they all have different textures of hair. So there's that trial and error where you're just buying shampoo and conditioner until you stumble across the one that's right. And I haven't found the one that's right yet. I'm sure I haven't. I feel like maybe I did. I don't know. I've been using Nexus for my human hair wig. As always, I use my Brandywine shampoo and conditioner for my synthetic wigs. But like I said, I haven't really bought any of them. I did buy 2 this year. I'll tell you what I bought this year. In January, I did not buy any wigs in January. I was still wearing my Zero wig, the synthetic John Renault wig, which is a high-end synthetic wig that I love very much. I was still wearing that one because I still had some more wears out of it. I get 30 comfortable wears out of that wig before I have to toss it in the trash. And that wig costs about $230 or $240 now. The price went up ever since y'all voted Trump into the presidency. Yeah, he raised the price. That you can blame him for that. But the price did go up, but not as badly as I thought it would be. Nonetheless, I didn't want to buy a new one because I was trying to like stay away from synthetic wigs, even though I knew I wasn't ready. So I decided to just buy a used one, which I did. I wore it. This is the wig I ended up bringing with me to St. Martin when I was there last week. I wore this as well as my human hair wig, this one that just tore, right? It's a mess now. We'll get into it later. But this is the Bryce wig, I believe. It's a discontinued wig by John Renault. I like high-end synthetic pieces because I love the hairline. First of all, this particular one doesn't have the best hairline, so this is not the best example. But I usually pay this wig when it was brand new. I think it was a $300 wig, and I got it for $85. So I got a really good price for it. I bought it gently used. The girl said she wore it just twice and she didn't know what to do with it because wigs, if you don't know what to do with a wig, you'll probably end up throwing it in the trash too, unless you don't have any more options. Then you'll be forced to work on it. But I had a feeling the girl just didn't know what to do with this wig. So I was like, let me take it off your hands. I'll figure it out. And I did get some nice wears out of it. And I like the wig. It's decent enough. I don't love it. I don't like how it feels. It's very, very, very dry feeling. Let me show you what I'm about to use. Henry Margu. It's dry-ish. Henry Margu Revitalized Conditioning Mist. I love this stuff for synthetic hair. But it's kind of like you can't, if you run your fingers through it, it's not a nice experience. It feels sandy, almost like dry. It feels like that. And I don't know. Does that matter to you guys? It matters to me. I just want to feel something nice between my fingers if I'm going to run my fingers through the hair. Anyway, so I ended up wearing that and this wig that I'm about to fix. And like I said, I spend about $240 per month. That works out to be about $2,800 a year, something like that, $2,800 a year. So that's my maximum spend on wigs. I try not to go over it, and I've been very good. Last year, I did not go over it. The year before, I didn't go over it. But the year before that was the year that I spent $7,000 on wigs in 1 year. And that's when I realized I needed to get a chokehold on this thing and figure it out because I had been spending like a beast and it got insane, right? So that's why I had to actually establish a budget so that I could stop myself when I really, before things got out of hand, which they were getting out of hand. But I think I want to go back to my old way of wigging that I was really happy with, right? Check this out, is I would get one Zero wig per month. And then I would also buy one high-end synthetic wig per month. And that's the wig that cost about $240. And then in addition to that, I would buy about 2 budget-friendly synthetic wigs. And what that did was when a wig got to the point where it needed work or I just wasn't that happy with it anymore, I could throw it in the trash because those budget-friendly wigs, they're only $40 to $50. So I don't know, the money got a little weird. Like I just said, ever since Trump got into office and started messing with the tariffs coming from China, y'all know most of the wigs come out of China, right? Like 90% of the wigs you get are from China. The hair is sourced somewhere in Asia, usually somewhere in India or something like that. And then it's pieced together in China and then it comes to us. So the pricing got really weird. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to go back to that because I liked doing that. My only issue was I didn't like throwing away my budget-friendly wigs every week. I enjoyed, don't get me wrong, I liked the fact that I could open up a new one each week, but the carbon footprint, you understand what I'm saying? That the carbon footprint is like immense. I was throwing away 4 wigs per month at one point. And one time, I actually didn't want to throw them away, so I was actually collecting them in a drawer just to see if I could get some more life out of it. And then at the end of that month, I went to that drawer and I opened it up and I looked. There was 6 wigs in there. None of them really looked like I wanted to wear them again because really those budget-friendly wigs like Sensational, Outre, Motown Tress, they make really nice styles, but they don't last many wears. I think you know what I'm talking about. I know some people are able to get lots of wears out of them, and that's fantastic for you. I just can't. I'm very unhappy in a wig after about day 7 or 8, any one of those budget-friendly wigs. So I looked at the drawer and I was just like, damn, I have to throw all 6 of these wigs in the trash. And these are wigs that I kept for a month and a half. What a wasteful thing to do to our environment. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that really was getting me and made me think, you know what? I should go for human hair wigs. Also, in the news, they're talking a lot about the chemicals they're finding in these synthetic wigs. And a lot of them are really dangerous chemicals. Y'all remember a couple years ago when relaxers were found to have a lot of chemicals that are cancer causing and people were coming up and they were getting all kinds of ovarian cysts and uterine problems? It's that kind of issue with the wigs. So that's another reason why I want to go human. I just have to wrap my head around all the maintenance and effort it takes to maintain a human hair wig. How do y'all do it? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to sew this together. I'm going to try to squeeze life out of this. And to be fair about the chemicals that we just talked about, I want to talk a little bit about that too. The chemicals that they found in most synthetic hair brands. They found it in most synthetic hair brands. So pretty much none of them don't have it in it. They're like pesticides and VOCs from plastics. The wigs are plastic. Y'all know that, right? The wigs are plastic. And the pesticides, you'd say, well, putting pesticides is something that you put on your head. It sounds crazy, but at the same time, without the pesticides, you literally have wigs with bugs in them. Y'all want that for yourselves? You don't, right? So I considered that, if you just wash the wig, wash it in like a vinegar bath or just wash it really well before you wear it, you'll be fine. You hope that's the case, but at the same time, you don't really know, right? But there's a lot of things that are coming up on the forefront all at the same time about synthetic hair wigs. The first thing is the tariffs. Trump keeps playing in our faces about these tariffs. He stopped talking about them at one point last year. He was talking about 145% tariffs on products coming out of China. That would have made our wigs almost unaffordable, honestly. So that's something to consider. Fortunately, it didn't go down that way, backed off for whatever reason. But he started talking about it again recently. The conversation restarted again. He's not talking 145% anymore, but he's talking pretty high tariffs for items that we can't make here yet. We're not established to make those products in this country and sell wigs for the prices we've been buying them at. And then on top of it, now there's regulations. Because those VOCs and cancer-causing chemicals were found inside the wigs, there is a call for regulation because the wig industry was highly unregulated. It wasn't being regulated, and that's why they were able to get away with it for so long. And now they're calling for regulation, which means each factory is going to have to undergo certain testing. They're going to increase the prices. They're going to increase the prices of these wigs. So it's really important for us to get a hold on how we're going to be wigging over the next few years or forever, right? Or if we're going to be wigging. I don't know. Y'all know, y'all know I'm married to a wonderful man who likes for me to wear my wig while we're out in public. He's perfectly fine with me being here online, talking to the rest of the world, but he likes for me to wear the wig in public because he notices, just like I notice, that people are constantly staring and approaching me with questions, which is a real thing. So I wear the wig not just for him. It's something that I had noticed myself. And then when I'm with him, he's just like, Dad, I feel there was a point where I felt like he wanted to fight everyone. And I had to tell him, you know, you don't have to fight everyone. I'm fine. I'm fine. And he's just like, just wear the wig. And I get it. I get it. He's really wonderful. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to wear the wig probably. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what the future holds. We really don't. This country is in mayhem right now. Y'all did a terrible thing by allowing that man into office. Let me just tell you that. I mean, I'm not saying anybody is either. There's corruption on either side. But this corruption, it's next level. Anyhow, y'all, let's go ahead and start sewing. I'm just going to do a whip stitch. We call these whip stitches. Like I said, I have a nice skinny needle, nice very thin needle, and I'm going to whip stitch it like this. Can y'all see what I'm doing? I want you to see this. It's important. But I also want to do it right, so I don't want to mess up. Hang on. So we'll start here where it's... Oh, and that little sign that says I'm afraid to buy a wig. It's true. I am afraid to buy a wig because I've been burned by so many wig companies. And I just don't want to be burned again. I just want to keep buying from brands I already know. And those brands are either very expensive or very expensive. And I don't think I love any particular wig enough to want to spend the thousands of dollars that they ask. So my girlfriend, you see what I'm doing, right? My girlfriend, she, I thank God for girlfriends. Let me tell you. I thank God for a wig sister. Let me say, I love you. I love you. If you're watching, you know who you are. I don't want to say your name because I don't know if you want me to, but you know who you are. Anyway, she bought a, y'all, I just bumped the shit out of my knee. It hurt like hell. Oh my God, it hurt like hell. She bought a hair Vivi wig and she unboxed it here in my house. I'm very honored to have had her do that for me. And I bought hair Vivi wigs before when I was wearing brunette wigs. And I loved their hair. And then I decided to go blonde. If you want to know why I went blonde, I have plenty of videos about that. Please refer to those videos. I don't want to get into it here because y'all are probably tired of hearing me saying that. But when I went blonde, I ordered a blonde piece from them, or a wig that had like a lot of blonde in it, I should say. It wasn't completely blonde. And all the areas of blondness, they were all damaged. They were all damaged. You could tell the difference between the existing hair, because it was like the color had a lot of dimensions. I think there was number 4 in it, number 2 in it, number 6, and then blonde, like ash blonde. It would have been a beautiful wig if it was done right, but the blonde pieces were really damaged, and it just looked off, like really off. And I wore it for a short time, and I didn't enjoy the experience. Just put it like that. And I just decided at that point that was not the company for blonde wigs. So I continued going with John Renault, which is, I'm going to move this out the way so y'all can see what I'm doing. Where is it? How do I get rid of it, y'all? Give me a second. I'm really trying to get rid of that thing. Um, afraid to buy a wig. Afraid to buy a wig. I really can't find that. Why am I so defunct? I can't find it. Interesting. Maybe it's this. Oh, yeah, I found it. Yay, we did it. We did it. Okay. So, what was I just saying? Completely forgot what I was saying. But yeah, okay, so then I went back to my brand that I tried for the first time when I was like 18 years old, which was John Renault, my favorite brand. They should be sponsoring me by now, but they don't. And I bought a human hair wig from them, and it cost $2,200, and I loved it. Only thing I didn't like was the hairline. Something about the high-end brands, they don't seem to do hairlines the way other brands do. Hair Vivi really does do a great hairline. But if the hairline is not right, y'all, I'm going to pick the shit out of it, and I'm probably going to end up ruining it. And that's what I ended up doing with my John Renault hair. And then I bought a Raquel Welch wig, and I did the same thing again. I ruined it. Also, that Raquel Welch human hair wig, I think from the Black collection, like the Black label collection. I could be wrong when I say that. But that wig wasn't that good either. The hair wasn't that good, and they claim it was human hair from European hair and all that other stuff. It just wasn't good. The quality in the John Renault hair was better, but I just didn't like the hairline. I kept messing with it until I messed it up. So yeah, I'm scared to buy another wig. So as I was saying, so my girlfriend, she bought the hair Vivi wig. She came over, she tried it on. I should have tried it on. I don't remember why I didn't. I just didn't feel like I should have asked. Next time I will ask. I should have tried it on to see if it was for me. I did like it. It looked really nice on her, but for some reason, she never wore it. So when I asked her, I never saw her wearing it. So I asked her, did you not like the hair Vivi wig? I was considering actually buying it off of her. And she was like, no, I like it. I just don't wear it that much because it's still too dark for me and this and that. And that's the thing. Like, even if you want a wig happy. You want to wig happy. It's just so hard to do when you can't walk into a brick and mortar store like you used to be able to do years ago and buy a beautiful wig. You can't do that anymore. And then even then, the quality is always a question. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on something. That's why I've been buying them used. And I've been taking the hits. Buying them used means sometimes they might rip. But buying them brand new also means sometimes they might rip, because I've experienced that as well. I don't know, but I know I don't want to spend $3,500, $2,500 on a wig anymore. I feel like I might cap at this point. At this point in time, I would say I don't think I would spend more than $1,200 on a wig. That's where I'm at right now with that. And less if I can get away with it. Like y'all know I'm always scouring all the secondhand sites for wigs, eBay, Poshmark. I'm always doing that, and I'm happy to share with you guys the experience. It's always fun. But I haven't been pleased, and I really want to go back to buying 4 synthetic, budget-friendly wigs per month and throwing them out after just a week, like I was doing before. That worked really well for me. I loved doing that. It was so nice to be tired of a wig and know that the next day you could just throw it in the trash. And I was able to do all of that for $200 a month, y'all. $200 a month. The wigs would cost about $45. 45 times 2 is 90, right? 90 times 2 is 180. So $180 a month. I was having great hair every day. But like I said, the carbon footprint just seemed so like wrong. It just felt wrong to be throwing away that much plastic. Just bags and bags of synthetic wigs going in the trash each month. It's horrible. So, I mean, there's got to be a happy place. And I would love to know what your happy place is. Okay, guys? So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me. I had fun today, and I hope you guys had fun too. Make sure that you're joined, subscribed, following. Tell your friends that there's a big bald-headed sister out there waiting for other bald heads to chat with. And anybody who's interested in the bald girl life, all right? Or the bald boy life, because it ain't easy for the bald men either. Balding is never easy, is it? No, it's never easy. Nobody wants to bald. But it's not the end of the world. Look at me, thriving. thriving. Anyway, y'all, I love you and we'll talk again soon.